Hey, what's happening to you guys? Pyros here and welcome back to another video. Now today's video is going to be something a little bit more seriously, so I'm not gonna try and make any jokes or any light humor about this. So I want to first of all give my condolences to all the people who've lost their lives in the 3 mass shootings that took place in America over the past weekend. It's tragic, it's horrific, and it's just simply unfair that someone with a messed up ideology thought to himself that he's gonna go out into the world and take away lives that don't deserve to be taken so soon from this earth. So once again, my condolences goes out to every single one of who got affected by the mass shootings. Now, it has been alleged that this mass shooters, I don't know, I think the main one, the first one that took place, it was filled with ideology intent, sorry, and it has been claimed to be a domestic terrorist attack upon American soil. So we don't know what the motives fully were. A lot of people have been speculating that it is something to do with white supremacists, but for the most part, we don't know. We just know that it's a guy who decided to wake up one morning and fulfill his fucked up ideology, and he went out and he took innocent lives from this world. So once again, my condolences to those people who lost their lives. But in today's video, what I actually want to talk about is this narrative once again that gun violence and mass shootings have a correlation with video games. The media is once again trying to push this narrative, and I've never really talked about this on my website or on my YouTube channel, but today I felt like it'll be the first time for me to express my thoughts and opinion on this, because I feel it is unfair that once again people who just enjoy a simple hobby of just coming in from a day of work, a day of going to school, or whatever you are doing in that day, to come home, just sit down, pick up your favorite game and just play to escape the messed up world that is reality. There has been many depictions of violence throughout humankind, from just watching animals kill themselves to the recent development of radio, the movies, the music, and then obviously video games. There has always been depiction of violence in all those medias, but why is it that it's always video games that is somewhat under attack whenever something like this is messed up like this has occurred in America? There's always this correlation that video games has something to do with the mental health of all the people who are playing it, that it influences people to commit acts of horror, acts of terrorist, when it's not the case at all. I feel like this is just ridiculous, and I feel like this is just them trying to find an excuse when we all know what the actual cause of the issue is. It's just the lack of gun control in that country. When you compare America to every other country in the world, they have the most mass shooting that I've ever seen. Like, most mass shooting across the rest of the world don't even exceed 5. It hasn't even been the end of the year yet. I think we're in August, and you guys have somehow accumulated 250 plus mass shooting, and you want to blame it on video games. When instead you just want to have to focus on fixing your legislation and fixing your laws that somehow prohibits people to just go and buy guns. I just don't know. That's what I don't understand. We have movies that have depicted violence throughout history, and no one ever bats an eye. We have music that always talks about violence, no one bats an eye. But video games is the one that you guys want to go for. It's the one that you guys want to attack. And I really hate the fact that every single time a white shooter, because most of the time it's a white person. I have to be honest with you, like, go back to all the mass shootings that ever happened in America, it's always from a white person. I don't know why. I can't tell you why that's the case. It just is. It feels like it's a white thing to go out and just do something this horrific. But like, every time it ends up being some type of white person that goes out and does this horrific thing, it's always labeled as a mental issue. When it's not the case. This guy had a clear agenda, he had a clear ideology, and he went to act upon that fucked up ideology, and that's what happened. Like I said before, it has been alleged that he was kind of doing it under the premise of white supremacy. I don't know whether that's true or not, but the last thing I'm going to do is to try and sit here and say he had some type of mental issue. No. I'm glad that America is now finally treating this as terrorist. They're calling it a domestic terrorist attack, which is at least a first step of acknowledging that now this is not the case anymore. This has nothing to do with mental issue or anything like that. This person, and obviously the other two people as well, these three people all had a clear agenda. They all wanted to do horrible, horrific acts of violence upon people, and that's what they need to address. Not attack video gamers, not attack people who just play games, people who just relax. Like there's millions of people who play video games all across the world. Let's not forget that America is not the only source of place where people play video games. People play video games all across the world, yet you don't hear mass shooting of this magnitude. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you guys have had 250 something mass shootings in over the course of 8 months. 7-8 months. Come on. I'm really getting sick and tired of gamers being attacked for having a hobby that has done no harm to no one throughout its years of existence. It's just not fair, personally. Like I said before, I don't know what the investigation is going on right now. I know people are recovering from this event, and it's also kind of sad how desensitized most of the Americans were when they found out about the first shooting, because most people just saw it and they kind of gave their condolences and moved on, because this is something that continuously happened. But I think this is the first time, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, where they've had 3 mass shootings in the span of one day. That's a little bit, come on. But anyways, I just want to give you guys my thoughts and opinion on this. The media will once again try to blame video gamers or blame video game for this event, and this is just kind of like an insult to everyone who plays video games. It's an insult to people, because they think that they can't kind of understand why someone would do this, when in fact people are just inherently evil. Someone will just go out and do something horrific and they'll be perfectly fine in their head. It's just that they want to enact something from their ideology, from their beliefs, whatever the case may be. I don't know. So once again, I'd like to give my condolences to the people who've lost their family members, their friends, whoever it is. You have my condolences. And obviously, for anyone else out there who play video games and all that stuff, just be prepared, because once again, video games is going to be under attack for no reason when they know their issue. They know what they have to do. Apparently, if the rest of the world can have quote-unquote gamers play video games and not have mass shootings, it's obviously clear that there's something going on with the legislation of gun control or whatever it is that goes on in America. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Pyros, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.